intro. Intro for sucker.
Intro suckers. Welcome,
Intros
welcome,
for suckers.
welcome to the Triple A podcast.
Yeah.
Woo! I'm one of the co-hosts, Black D. That's my brother, aka slash co-host slash producer slash the
Yeah.
man that makes it all happen. And you are
Salute.
on the Triple A podcast, Us
Yeah.
versus the World episode.
Yeah. It's going
Yo,
down.
yo, bro. Good to see
Yo.
you. Good to see
Likewise,
you.
Mr. Traveler.
Hey, man, I was
You
out
probably
there in the
literally just got in the
Chi-Town
house.
streets. I was in the Chi-Town streets. I was out
You mean
there in the
Chirac?
I was Chirac, man. I'm a survivor, bro. Like they were trying to make me a POW, but I wasn't going for it.
You went to Harold's and got some wings?
No, man, I wasn't even gonna press my luck like that. I was trying to be
Went
as
on the
low
south
key
side?
as possible. Nah, man, we stayed as north as possible.
I
North
ain't even mad.
Like all signs pointing north.
Those are some Negroes I would not tempt.
Nah, bro. Sometimes you gotta let it be what it's gonna be, and you just gotta let the wolves hot be dormant. I don't know what the hell you want to call it, but how you doing, bro? How was your weekend? How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling a lot better. Not complaining at all. Had a rough broadcast yesterday. Man, it didn't go off. The broadcast didn't launch. It like Sling just died. And I mean, nobody in the church knew because there's all the screens in there are on and got all the graphics on them. But if you at home watching or on the app, Facebook Live or YouTube, it was nothing.
Was it you or more of a cable issue?
No, Sling. Oh, I should Billy background. Slingshot Studio rather. They discontinued the software in 2018, right? But we still used it, and we're trying to get to ProPresenter, which is a better software, but we still haven't been able to get the interface to work properly with all the screens and the launch. So it's been it's been pretty much a failure to try to get that new software going. So last week, we went back to the old software thinking that, man, we just need one more week to try to figure out the new software. And Sunday, it was like one of them box Chevys that you just try to start and go.
I need you to turn on one more time for me, baby.
And you hitting the gas like just praying it to start, and it just wouldn't do it. So that was brutal to handle, but yeah, it was brutal, man. Talk about stress. That should have killed you.
So I mean, I don't want to go too far in depth with it, but I mean, hopefully y'all gonna go or find something else better to go to.
Yeah, this week we gotta have it because we gotta figure out ProPresenter, man. Or we ain't gonna have no broadcasting. You don't want that. Trust me, you don't want them complaints.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, but how about you, Mr. Traveler?
Man, I'll be tired, man. We went and jumped out to Chi-Town, got there, and it was cool. We kicked it, hung out with family. I don't call them friends. I shouldn't call them friends anymore. They're family.
No,
so shout out to Sid and Nori, pays off.
Yeah.
We got to hang out.
What up, Nori? Triple salute.
Triple salute. Got to hang out, have some good conversations, bro. Like I told you before off screen, I got to try Ethiopian food for the first time. That was life altering. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the food was good, but it wasn't necessary. It was more about the experience in the communion, rather than just like the food itself. Mm-hmm. And so, with Ethiopian food, they bring out normally they break bread, bro. They break bread. You literally break a bread to eat, anyways. But you sit there and they bring out these mats. So Sid took us and he was like, "Yo, I want y'all to experience this." They bring out these. He ordered everything, so we didn't order nothing. He ordered everything. So we get these two massive plays. They're set on the table, and it's like about 7 of us all together there. And so the next thing you know, they bring out this bread, and I believe it's called injera. And I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me if they want. So you take the bread, and then so you literally break bread, and then you just go in there, and whether it's the meat, whether it's the they had greens, lamb, chicken, and then some of it was spicy, some of it wasn't spicy. And they had a few other things in there, and man, it was just very good. But the fact that it was communion, like you're there. Your brother's got his hand there, but you're not. It's not bare hand. Let me just grab food. You're using that bread as your tool to eat, breaking pieces off of that and using that, and it fills you up.
Wow.
It fills us up. We all of a sudden like, oh my gosh, I'm so full.
That's wild, man. I can only
imagine. It was a cool experience, man. It was a cool experience.
Yeah, you said you would go back.
Oh yeah, I wanted. My brother Brandon was in town. He came out. Came out with us to Chicago from Florida. He lived down in Jacksonville. He down in Duval.
Duval.
That's where he lived. But
okay.
He came up and then he chilled. He loved it. He said he's gonna take his family to go experience it, and it was real dope. It was real dope, bro. I kind of like wish he was there because they was asking. I said my bro was tempted to come, but it was so last minute.
That would have been dope, man. And the whole Wyclef meeting got postponed.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, until next week. He's gonna fly to New York to meet with Ambassador Raymond. So yeah.
Man, there's so much going. Speaking of which, I mean, I think that's the news. If you want, I don't have mine up because my computer is acting funky as hell. Well, maybe it won't. But
you want the news?
Yeah, the news.
Let's do it. In the news. Yeah. So I know you had sent the topics, and looking at it, I was sitting there thinking, like, man, it's a lot of drama, but having that, the passing of the Smash Mouth lead singer,
Steve Harwell.
I didn't know it was. Yeah, but I didn't see. The thing is, and here's how scary the internet is. There was reports out this week that something had happened and he wasn't doing well, or he's on his deathbed, and I thought that was a joke. Like, I thought it was just somebody, just trying to get likes and retweets and shit, right?
Right.
So this morning, when I log on to X or Twitter or whatever we call it these days, then I see, from 1967 to 2023, rest in peace, Smash Mouth lead singer Steve Harwell. And I'm thinking, like, that's crazy, man. Because I mean, there was no, hey, he's sick, prayers up for his family, and like nobody knew. It was kind of like, okay, well, we heard he's sick, now he dead. Like, damn,
yeah.
That wasn't cool for me, man. That was hard to swallow. Because that Rockstar song or All Star song, people, I mean, granted, it's a pop record, but if you actually listen to the lyrics, man, I mean, it's some life lessons in that shit that people need to learn. And honestly, I still apply some of those lessons. Like, all that glitter is not gold, man. All that glitters is not gold. And that song kind of helped me remember that. I mean, not to belabor it, but yeah, that was my guy, man. Smash Mouth shit.
The song, and they have other songs that like kind of caught my.
Walking on the Sun was the shit. Like that was the soundtrack to a ton of movies, man. Like the main theme song, because it was just good. It was good music. They made good music.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I finally got mine to come up. I didn't go too much in depth with it. With conspiracy theories. Yeah. They did. I seen a special. Why I heard people talk about it, because I see multiple videos online and they show the areas where it burnt up, and like on one of the things they showed, like where the fires had come all the way down, it was coming up towards the coast, and then they stopped, like it was a barrier right there, and on the other side of that barrier was nothing but all the multi-million-dollar homes and everything. What up, Alora?
Hey, Alora. Triple salute to you.
And so getting to see that, I was like, wow, like, okay. I mean, I didn't look at it that way, but
yeah, me
I didn't know what to think of it. It was foreign to me, and I'm not gonna lie, I was worried about people and the safety and them for their loss.
Yeah.
But I didn't take an in-depth look at it as I should. So then the next thing was a video I seen where this guy was showing, and they were showing videos of the damage from the fires, and they were showing that the fires reached so hot that it was melting cars and different things like that. But it didn't show, it showed that the pavement wasn't melted, and things that were the color blue weren't melted from the heat. And so the guy goes and shows that the U.S. has this is a conspiracy theory, mind you. He shows that the U.S. has this laser that in the military that we use. and it's on the nose of a plane. And when they fly with this laser and they burn things, it burns everything except for concrete, but it burns everything very, very hot except for concrete in the color blue. And he showed like the whole he's showing parts of the documentary showing this laser and how it's attached to the plane and stuff. And I was like, wow, okay. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure, but I can tell you this much. I did hear, call it rumors too, that some of these people a lot of these people who have lost their homes had already had these multi-million-dollar companies trying to swoop in and buy their property, buy the property off them.
Yeah. That's. I mean, that I don't know, man. Big bro, I tell you the truth. Knowing so much history, that shit would not surprise me at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, my uncle Eddie, he passed away a while back, but he got discharged from the military, and he said they shot him up with AIDS. And he was saying it. They use a micro biopulator, which is a silent pistol. It's like an electronic looking gun. Like he showed me the pictures back in the 90s. I thought he made that shit up. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, he was doing a field practice, and they sent him way out in the field. He don't know about getting shot or whatever. He just knows that he felt something, and then he passed out. He woke up in ER, and they said, oh no, you fell, you went whatever. But he said he didn't feel right ever since. And then, of course, he became diagnosed with AIDS less than 3 or 8 months later. I mean, 3 to 9 months, 6 to 9 months later. Yeah. And he, for 20 years, Jamar, he sued the government and he won. He won in, I think, 2008. He won a settlement. And then, of course, he died shortly after that. But yeah, they shot him with AIDS and he proved it. And they paid him for it. They paid him because he proved it. But again,
that says something right there. That says
yeah. So what you telling me? I don't know. You hate to hear it, but
I mean, not Stranger Things, but yeah, hate to hear it. So I'm looking this up now, and I don't have my PC hooked up on like we normally do. So I've never heard of Gabon or Gabon. Gabon, so it's Gabon.
I think it's
Africa.
Gabon.
It's a country in Central Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And in this country right now, they're having a huge. Wait, get off the thing. They're dealing with a coup and a takeover there, as well as what's going on in Niger. I always thought it was Niger. Somebody corrected me. Finally said that they were like, no, it's Nigeria. Yeah, Nigeria. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, wow.
Well, I mean, if you want to be honest, those aren't like African words anyway. But who cares?
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So both of them are having extreme. It's a lot of things going on in Africa right now. A lot going on with South Africa, with what they're doing. And with Gabon and Nigeria's having a big issue with a coup, not a big issue, but a coup takeover and a lot of fighting.
That's a big issue. That's a horrible issue.
Yeah, it's a horrible issue. And it's crazy.
President Trump on trial right now for trying to do it.
You said, well, shit.
I said Trump on trial right now for trying to coup.
Yeah, he's on trial right now. There's a lot of cooing going on. It's a lot of cooing going on.
Yeah.
Not cooing.
I just well, I'll tell you this. France pulling out of Niger, however you want to pronounce it, to me it was a telltale sign. When you have colonization, and South Africa knows this more so than any part of the world. When you have colonization and apartheid, and you have groups of individuals who are able to come into your country, your home, your land, and get the premium real estate, get the premium cars, get the premium jobs, have a premium lifestyle, where you're relegated to ghettos and projects and poverty, pretty much because somebody thought that that's what should happen. It's messed up.
Yeah.
And then when the black people finally take over and get into government, it's pretty much left in shambles because they don't really know what they're doing. So they just kind of got to figure it out. And then, of course, then comes the corruption, and then comes the outside influences, and then comes the colonizers come back because after a couple of years of you fucking the shit up, oh, we could work together now that we see that you're not able to sustain what we put in place. So, of course, with France doing that and then pulling out, pretty much left them very vulnerable. And Niger, I mean, come on, man. I mean, I learned a lot about coups listening to Major Solomon and just reading the story about Niger. It just screams the classic. Like, I feel like I've seen this movie 67 times.
Bro, check this out. In that area, in that region at all, right? There's a Niger one. Chad had one in 2021, in April 2021. Sudan had one in April 2019 and October 2021. Mm-hmm. Gabon is having theirs now. Burkina Faso had one in January 2022 and then in September of 2022. Guinea had one in September of 2021, and Mali had one in August of 2020 and May of 2021. All within that region. They're like all right there. Gabon is like the furthest one from everybody, but all those are like all lined up. All the other ones I named are all lined up right there in that northern part of Africa, but still south of where Egypt is and everything else. It's crazy.
Yeah, I dig. I don't know.
It's a small world after all.
Well, I mean, they're all doing the same thing. You know, it's like they're just following one after the other, and most of those governments are trash and toppled anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No offense. I think outside of maybe Nigeria, South Africa, maybe a handful of other countries, Morocco, of course, Egypt, you know, and Ethiopia too, in a lot of ways. You know, I would like to say, Somalia. I can't really add Somalia. I can't add Eritrea. But there are countries, especially on the eastern coast or the western coast, that are really doing strong. The Congo is okay. They're trying, they're fighting, and the only reason that's good because, of course, you know, they got guerrillas and stuff. But that's where all the iron is and those metals that they use to pull for the cell phones. So, of course, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes anytime I see a coup happen or something, I always think it's something behind it. But, you know, I'm not there on the ground. I just get the tweets because I follow like maybe 30-something South Africans, and they kind of like give up the inside scoop of what's going on. Like when they was trying to end SARS, I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
Yeah, and it's like it was our version of Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, Freddie Gray. It was their version of that. To where these officers were given almost autonomy to pretty much hurt and kill people if you were resisting arrest or if you posed to be a threat or whatever. And it was like a program that they had that under this SARS program, they have this authority. So black people were just killing officers were just kidnapping people, holding them for ransom, you know, doing all kind of crazy stuff. You in the street when you're not supposed to be. It's not a hit over the head or a ticket. They're going to kick your ass, maybe kill you, maybe rape you, maybe steal your money, steal your car. They were like taking policing to a whole nother level. They're basically thugs.
Right.
So with stuff like that going on, this is not surprising if this is what your government has allowed because they don't want to deal with the shit.
Man. So I guess as we continue the flavor of the month, I guess is cooing. I cool, you cool, we cool.
Not cooning, but cooning.
Not cooning, cooling. So the U.S. Embassy just put in an order to all Americans in Haiti that are still in Haiti, that have still been in Haiti during this time, to leave. They're like, yo, we don't care. Y'all need to get the hell out now.
They should have been did that, to be honest with you.
They've issued warnings before. Now they're saying leave.
Yeah, because the government has been in a sense toppled for a while now. So I'm just surprised that's now a thing. But yeah, it's not surprising.
So I guess everything is even ramping up even more. I don't know, or ramping back up from when it started and everything kind of was still going on, but they kind of I won't say tampered it down, but it just, and I guess things are moving now and where somebody's really going to try to make that final push. It's the final countdown.
You silly. But even with Gaetan, and shouts out to Gaetan, even though, you know, he's not really working with us anymore. but his cousin got killed by the gangs in Haiti. So
Damn.
he went back to go kind of not fight as to pick up a stick or a rock to go hit back, but he went to go support his family and try to figure out what they could do legally and law wise to help fight the crime out there. So he's trying, and people are trying, but man, Ambassador Raymond will say it. Right now, it's not a good time to be a Haitian citizen, because when you don't have a government, you don't have a voice, you don't have an identity, and you don't have help. And without those three things, there's no nation that can survive.
That's true. That's true.
Shouts out to Ambassador Raymond. My bad. His birthday was Saturday. I called him yesterday. Wish him happy belated birthday. So if he ever watches this, happy belated birthday, sir. Okay.
Happy belated birthday. It's just crazy. I don't know. It's one of those things where there's comfort in ignorance. And then once you start becoming, man, you start becoming aware and then realizing that the things going on in the world. I do believe, and I used to get mad when I would hear foreigners say it, that Americans are so ignorant. And as I've been learning on my own and kind of like broadening my horizons and trying to see a bigger picture, I'm just like, wow. And I guess as we roll over into going from talking about cooing, not cooning, then we go to about the ignorance of our people understanding that the world is bigger than we think, and there are great things in the world. And as much as we can love America, and America not be the greatest country right now with everything that's going on, and there are other countries that are flourishing in ways that America is truly failing. And we, if anything, sometimes continue to push that culture of failing because we value profit over making things better overall for our people. So, and profit is not the right word I want to use. I should sit there and say capitalism.
Yeah.
The gifts and curse of capitalism. And because we love capitalism so much, that we miss out on a lot of other things that could be very beneficial to help this country flourish better, and for a lot of our, not all, but majority of our citizens to be able to have more resources and access to a lot more things that we miss out on it.
Facts. I agree.
Yeah. So to say that is also to say that in sports, we go to sports.
Oh, okay. All right, we out of the news.
We out of the news. We in the sports. Noah Lyles, world champion, 200-meter sprinter. Yeah, I believe he won 100 in the world games too. He won a 100.
I did not know that. I know he won the 2. I didn't know he won the 1.
Yeah, I believe they said he won the 200, and he broke. They say he broke Usain Bolt's record, or one of Usain Bolt's records.
Wow.
Yeah, so shout out to that brother representing the U.S. And he came on and he was making a statement, and he was saying like how he was watching NBA finals, and it was going up, and they had like world champions or something like that. And he was, he made a statement of world champions of what? You didn't play the world, maybe U.S. champions, but you're not world champion. And so, of course, a lot of NBA players was all in their feelings about it. And a lot of other people, a lot of Americans, majority of Americans were upset about it. And there were few Americans who understand what the brother was saying. And most Americans had the attitude like, well, all the best players, the basketball players in the world want to come play in the NBA. So there's not a team in the world, in any league, that would beat the Denver Nuggets or whatever. And so I even felt that was still a short-sighted look. And my answer to them, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I was waiting to have this conversation with you, is that behooves you and is ignorant as hell to say that just because we have the greatest basketball players in this league or on that roster won a championship, do we every year sit there and say, let's not play no games? The Phoenix Suns, who now have Booker, Beasley, and Kevin Durant, are now the best team in the league, and they're the best team in the world, and we don't have to play an NBA season because they got the best roster and they destroy everybody. Or do we make them play the game?
Make them play the game.
Make them play the game. So if you want to be called world champions, you have to face the world. Regardless of whether or not you have the best roster, you still got to go earn
it. Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I agree. First off, but watching Winning Time and seeing how they came up with the trophy and the title for the NBA, you laugh at what Lyles said because he's right, you know. Well, when they came up with the name of the championship for the NBA in the NBA finals, nobody was thinking about the world as an actual world. They were just trying to find a name to slap on a trophy so they could give it to whoever won that title. And if you see how you see how he made the trophy, like it was they had to pay some backyard dude to kind of put it together and all. It was crazy. So even when I was a kid in like the early 90s, I used to always wonder why they would say, "Oh, the Bulls are world champions." Because I was thinking like they didn't play the world; they're just champions over here. Like what the fuck? Like I never understood that. It never made any sense. But it's nothing to make me not make an argument over. Like I don't care. If they're champions or world champions, it doesn't matter to me. But common sense.
I can understand why to an Olympic athlete or an Olympic sport athlete whose daily competition is not only against his fellow countrymen, but also against people around the world. And I guess I also said, to me, I felt like, well, even if we do that, which it shouldn't be this big old fuss about it, but even if we do that, don't y'all find it therefore then disrespectful to the actual world champions who won the Olympics? Because they actually had to go beat the world the trophy.
No, you're on point. You're on point. And I mean, and Greg Popovich said as much too back in the day.
Yeah, and I've seen that, and that resurfaced. And so to me, it was like, yo, you play the game. Right. You can say it. Make Denver Nuggets go turn around and play against whoever's the league champion of the Lithuania League or whoever league or whatever the case. And as he said this, though, the funny thing is, which is also part of sport news, and all these American players were arguing this, and Gilbert Arenas and the rest of these guys are all in the news in their podcasts and everywhere else. Freaking Team USA loses in a FIBA game.
Yeah. Okay, but hold on, wait.
Yugoslavia.
I hear. I think it was Lithuania. Maybe. Oh, I don't remember. I just know they lost. But the thing is, honestly, I don't think they was really trying to win that game like that because they were already locked in and they knew they were locked in. So they were just trying to make it a show. Probably not realizing that if they lose, it's gonna make news like that. So I don't know. I can't. Bad time. Yeah, that's the only thing it is to me. Because as far as the way they lost, like you could tell they weren't trying to win that fucking game.
Right.
They were just playing because of course they got to play. You can't just be out there. So they weren't trying to really win, in my opinion.
Right.
I don't know. I just think once they had the Olympics sewed up, they kind of dialed it in. But yeah, you're right. Perfect timing to say, hey, look what happened. I don't know.
I believe things happen for a reason. To me, it's an eye opener for the standpoint of that the world is catching up, and the world is catching up to us in these sports that we love. Especially, they caught up to us. We didn't think they was going to catch up to us in baseball, but we had that ignorance, that air confidence, and that conceitedness to think that this is our game. It comes to America, and next thing you know, you turn around, you have Japanese teams. You have a lot of teams from the Dominican Republic and all these other teams that are coming from all around the world that now are putting together amazing baseball teams. And now we're not the toast of the world alone anymore when it comes to baseball. With basketball, three of the last 5 MVPs have been non-American born.
Yeah.
Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid.
Yeah.
So the world is catching up, and it's only a matter of time before the rest of their people start picking it up. We not learned what Argentina did this in the Olympics before.
I mean, I don't know. I struggle with that thought of like the rest of the world catching up because I mean, I don't know. I just think the NBA is a different kind of animal, and depending on, I guess your ownership that depends on how far you're gonna go.
Of course.
Whereas Giannis is now probably considering backing out of Milwaukee and leaving because, of course, they don't want to put the money behind a team to make another championship run.
Right.
So it's a lot more to it than just specifically that.
But it's the money. It's the money. The money is always like the biggest factor in it. They said that.
I agree, though.
Yeah, there was a guy who was talking on Gilbert's podcast, and he was like, you know what? Because the Gilbert's like all the best players in the world, they want to get to the NBA, and dude was like, bro, it's not that they don't like where they're from or like playing where they're from. It's just about the money. The NBA just pays the most. And they was like, if they can make that money and stay home, they'd rather stay home and play at home and play.
Especially the Joker. The Joker, for real. The Joker, he's the best example of that.
Yeah, they'd rather be at home making that money. It's about the money. It's not about the thing. It's about the money.
Yeah. No, I think as far as the NBA is concerned, it's the biggest platform in the world for basketball. And that's not going to change. And the wealthiest platform in the world, of course, for basketball. Yeah. And that's probably not going to change over the next couple of years. Now, the issue is going to become, and nobody sees this yet, but I think owners have already seen it and it's coming. Okay, so here's the problem. With Giannis and Joker and Embiid to a degree, but he played his college days here. So he's not the same, in my opinion. I think, what did he go to Kansas, I believe? One of them schools.
He went to Kansas, yeah.
So this doesn't necessarily apply to him more so than Joker, Giannis, Luka, and somebody else I can't think of. I think Danilo Gallinari, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, we forgot an old boy from Dallas.
You do Luka Doncic?
Yep.
Yeah, him. Yeah, I thought I said him, but okay, but yeah,
I might have missed it.
No, Luka's he's in that. What I'm about to say, he's lumped into that. Here's the issue: Americans love Americans. Americans love Americans. So when it comes to the point where so many international and foreign-born players are the top players in the league, a lot of Americans are going to be turned off by that, and they ain't gonna watch that shit. Watch. In the next 5 years, if this trend continues to go the way it's going, we're not going to want to see Giannis win no championship, black or not. We're not going to want to see Luka win a championship, whether he a beast or not. We ain't going to want to see Joker win a championship, whether he's a beast or not, because we want to support our own. It's just how Americans are. And it's always been that way. And unfortunately, the NBA is going to find out very fast once the people stop watching and tuning in, because all these foreign-born players are becoming number one, which how it should be, because we get the floss and fell off and get the nail in the coffin. You know what I'm saying? And we've been doing that. So that's a Mac 10 reference if anybody doesn't know. But anyway, this is going to happen, and that revenue is going to drop. And then it's going to become an issue because, again, if the best players in the NBA aren't American citizens and we don't relate to them like that, it's a wrap. Just watch. Just watch. First, it ain't an issue now. It's not an issue now, but just a couple more years. Let a couple more foreign folks get MVPs, championships, become the face of the league, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I feel like I'm Reggie right now.
All right. you sound like Reggie. Shout out to
Shout out to Reggie.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. My only pushback would be that the NBA may have known that, and that's why they've been trying their best to push the product globally.
Yeah, well, yeah, because if you got global fans, that can counter off. They could pick up the slack when we stop, because the NBA does. I mean, they have good ratings. The ratings have been not so dominant in the NBA. The only thing they got right is the finals and possibly that play-in tournament. So only two things that people tune into the NBA final. I mean, NBA for now. The NBA All-Star game, it's big, but whatever. That's not where I'm going. If international crowds are able to pick up that slack, then yeah, you got a point. It could still pop, but I'm trying to tell you, it's going to be an issue.
Well, let me hit you with this question, and I didn't have it in the sports, but it's a question, I guess, that very much relates to this. I remember a long period in time that, and I think LeBron James is a perfect person to expose that. That's not the way it works when it comes to, you need to be, in order to be a superstar, you need to be in a big market. The way technology and things have changed, it is now shown that to win, you don't have to be in a big market to win. To become the top player, you become the top player, because he became the top player with a player with all the endorsements and everything else while he was in Cleveland, before he ever went to Miami. He already had it all. He was already drawing in the viewership because the Cavs were always on TV. And even when he went to Miami, and the main people pushing for him to go to a big market team wasn't necessarily fans. It was news networks like ESPN, and those people don't like that. You want to know why? Because it's better for me to go have to report on LeBron James when I could go also kick it, and maybe my job moves me to LA rather than being stuck in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And so they were the ones who were pushing it, because they were like, we'd rather be in these bigger cities, these bigger markets, where it's easy for us to because we already probably have bases and stuff like that there in the foundation set up what we need it, compared to you're stuck in Cleveland. Yeah. Compared to we're stuck in Milwaukee. Compared to you're stuck in, I don't know, even though Miami is Miami, it's not considered a big market.
Well, yeah, I know. That's kind of funny. It's watching Heat games, the crowd don't show up to like the third quarter. It's like, what the hell is this? It's really crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah. I said I never thought of it in a sense. So you said it's like more of a media narrative than
more media narrative than it actually is. Yeah, of course. I mean, you're going to get some players that are like, yo, I don't want to be in Cleveland, and you had that, but you also have players who didn't mind it. The biggest reason Cleveland really couldn't get free agents is not because of the city of Cleveland, minus Chris Bosh and some others, was mainly because LeBron never gave his full commitment. And that they was like, bro, I'm only going there.
Michael Redd wanted to come.
Michael Redd,
he wanted to
Paul
come.
George was willing to sign off on the trade. He was going to go. But Gordon Hayward, when he was first about to be a free agent, he was like, I'll go if he's going to be there.
Yeah. But the contract issue is because of Dan Gilbert. Like him and Dan Gilbert were at odds, and they've been at odds since LeBron since he took over the team. Because LeBron was trying to play GM and he wasn't having it. And that was a lot of issues. And then they wouldn't pay for players to come. And then, of course, LeBron stopped meeting with players because they're like, hey, man, look, I want to come to the team. If I can look up with LeBron, figure out what his plans are, I'll sign on the dotted line right now. And of course, it trickles down. So I hear what you're saying. I wouldn't blame Bron on that because Dan Gilbert had a lot to do with that. Even though he kind of throws rocks and hides his head.
Dan Gilbert and LeBron. LeBron wanted to keep his power. Dan Gilbert wanted not to share the power. So it was both of them being stubborn and two alpha males. And LeBron wants to control his destiny. Dan Gilbert wants to control his $1 billion plus franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm spending money. I'm putting all the bills. It's boom, boom is boom. Yeah. And so you have to have like that medium. I think Dan Gilbert humbled himself. Second time around to get LeBron to come back.
Yeah, but go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, so that to me that was eye opening, because I feel like you can become an attraction if you're a star player. Mm-hmm. If you build it, they will come. Yeah. They'll become begrudgingly, but they'll tune in.
They want to win.
They want to win.
People want to win. Well, for the most part, they should want to win.
Because look at how about this. This is the crazy part. NBA viewership overall is down. Even today, when LeBron left Cleveland the second time, it was like viewership was up. And here's also part of the play too, because the Cavs played in the Midwest but Eastern time slot. So therefore, a lot of people watched the games. When he went to the Lakers, Lakers normally come on late. Viewership went way, because nobody was like, I'm not staying up to watch them, or I'm not going to whatever case. And the viewership for NBA dropped.
I believe that. Yeah, I can see that, because again, I would only watch maybe the first quarter of Laker games, maybe the first half, and I'm asleep because it's 11 o'clock. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sleeping like, bro. I'm not waking up late for the Lakers.
Yeah, but no, the NBA has an issue, and they know it.
Yeah, So
They know.
I mean, it's so I just don't
What do you
like.
think about the new season? What do you think about the new in-season tournaments?
Didn't pay attention to it. You have to break it down to me. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a I don't know if it's before the All-Star. I think it's before the All-Star break where they're gonna do like a mid-season tournament championship kind of thing. It's gonna be tiers just like the playoffs, and then I think it's for maybe 12 teams. Whoever qualify for it, they go at it for this whatever mid-season champion that they're trying to crown. I don't. That's supposed to give you some kind of leg up for a better spot if you get into the playoffs for the NBA Finals, or I don't know. It's kind of like how they do seeding in NCAA. So if you win this tournament, you get the best seeding for the easiest route to the championship, basically. And it makes sense, but
It
again,
makes sense, but yeah.
we're not used to this shit. And the play-in tournament, the success of the play-in tournament, the viewership, the money, the people that bought tickets for the play-in stuff, they saw that for the past 2 years and like, oh, we need that because we could put this, and they installed it. So this year, I think it's our first year where we're gonna have this mid-season tournament, man. So I don't know what to expect. I'm not really excited about it. To me, it's just bullshit. But
I'm iffing in on it. I'm like in and out on it. I'm in because I'm sure that's going to make it exciting. I'm out on it because therefore, do you risk it? Yeah, gambling. Do you risk it and burn yourself out mid-season chasing this mid-season, this mid-season title or placement trophy compared to just let's stay steady the course, let the chips fall how they may while we prepare ourselves for it. Maybe they're trying to do it because they're tired of teams trying to save themselves for the playoffs. They're tired of players.
That's another part.
Yeah.
All of it. I mean, it's a genius idea. Again, Adam Silver said, watching the success of the play-in tournament, they needed to capitalize off of that. And my brain, when he talked about doing this, I didn't think it was a good idea because, again, we're kind of traditionalists, man. We like our NBA the way it is. We like our NFL season 16 fucking games because it makes sense with the math. This is what we want because this is what we used to. So we're not used to seeing, and the NFL would never do this, but I just feel like, man, if it was like a money situation, they would probably do in-season tournaments too. You know what I'm saying? Something like the AFC North Challenge where they got to play for whatever spot. And I don't know. But we hate to see that because this is not what we grew up seeing. This is not what we used to. I don't know. It just kind of
sometimes a lot of times we don't like change.
Hell no. I mean, now, okay. Well, I was gonna say, I will never consider the Bulls a super team, but to a degree, they might have been a super team. I'm talking about the '90s Bulls, the championship Bulls, right? And I believe they were changing the rules in the NBA to allow for more offense. So, because again, the Bulls were just running everything. And that was not, you don't want that. You want to be able to have more scoring, you want more teams to run everything. You don't want just one team winning all the titles. You know what I'm saying? So the goal in the NBA, I think this was David Stern. His goal in the NBA was to create create parity. Like, oh, you got a bad team here. Every conference will have not a bad team, like a sucky team, but a super team. So all these teams can collide, not just one team running through the whole fucking league. So getting Michael Jordan out of the NBA was the best thing that ever happened to David Stern until he realized that he needed the motherfucker because nobody else could draw people the way he could. But they thought they had people who could do that. Now, granted, this is gonna come out sounding wrong because being dead, a Kobe Bryant does have that appeal to people.
Yeah, he did have that appeal. Yeah,
but Jordan had something that was on a level that Kobe has never ever seen. Now, granted, again, Kobe, very special, very popular, but the popularity of Michael Jordan is insurmountable on a basketball court. Nobody's reaching that kind of popularity. Now, LeBron, okay, you can kind of say that to a degree, but in the '90s, what Michael Jordan had was a lock on this NBA thing, and that's never good. So I think, again, it's another part of the tournament with the NBA thing, right? I think if they do these mid-season tournaments, it goes against people like LeBron. It goes against people like Chris Paul, the older players, more dominant players. Like you said, they're going to be exerting all this energy because they're going to try to win this tournament. And then this is going to allow for other teams who maybe not as good, maybe not as much talent, but they're still young and hungry, i.e. Oklahoma, right? I.e. Orlando Magic, i.e. the Miami Heat. This allows an opportunity for these teams to leapfrog LA. Hold on, somebody wrote something. Oh, yeah.
Kobe was a beast, but it was already seen, especially since he played at the same time as Mike. Around the same time, yeah. I see what he's saying right there. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
what up, Rob?
Yeah. What I'm saying is, they're gonna make they're trying to level out the playing field as much as possible because they need all these markets buying into believe that their team can win. That's what I think is the deal, and that's all the money ploy. It's all to get that money coming in. Because if you think your team can win, you're gonna buy the jersey, you're gonna buy the ticket, you're gonna take your family to the game. It's deep stuff, man.
So are we profit? Are we chasing profit?
It's all about the money.
All about the must be the money.
I'm telling you, all about the money. This is how it is, man. And Adam Silver sees it.
Yeah. Speaking of must be the money, Coach Prime won his first game. Colorado beat TCU, number 17 TCU, which means that Colorado should be ranked.
I don't know.
I'm mixed. I have mixed emotions on this.
Okay. Why are you mixed emotions?
Okay, here go Miguel, because me and Miguel fussed about this. Wait, it's not going to pop.
Salute, OG.
Well, my mixed emotion is this: that they won, and they're going to do better this season than a lot of people, maybe even myself, gave them credit for. I couldn't pick about how many games they would win or lose, but I knew that there was levels. What I also understood was me and Miguel hit me up talking smack when TCU won, and they were like, "Yeah, they beat a team that last year was in the national championship." And so what I said to him, all right, let's be realistic about it. If you were in a national championship the year before and you lost in that game, normally if you're bringing back a loaded team or even a decent team, they keep you ranked within the top 4 or 5 and even maybe 10. When you that team and everything you lost, out of the respect of who you were, they still rank you, but they don't rank you to where you would, whatever case, if you were a team that brought back something. So that's why TCU went from playing in a national championship last season to starting this season ranked number 17. It's because they lost. They shot their load off in that one season. All their talented players, the quarterback that got them there is gone. The tailback that got them there is gone. The wide receiver, the best wide receiver they had, is gone. Their best defensive players, they're gone. It's a team starting over. And this team starting over with all these other young guys and transfer portal guys and stuff they tried to bring in, that team was going to turn around, because what we failed to mention is, Deion Sanders' son, he got his shine on. Travis Hunter, he's a baller. He got his ball on. But they also gave up 40-something points on defense too. Yeah. So it's I'm gonna let these people celebrate, because you want to be happy for Coach Prime. I don't want to see the brother fail.
What are you saying that's controversial?
Controversial was that I don't want to see the brother fail. Me and Miguel had that conversation. Others I've had a conversation that there's levels to this. And now because Deion Sanders had at Jackson State that ability for him to be able to pull in resources and things that he had, now when he's on his collegiate level, you're not going against a nobody knows at Grambling State or wherever the case. You're going against the Nick Sabans for kids, the Lincoln Rileys for kids, the Ryan Days for kids. And he's found that out in recruiting. But you have some of us who are just so in love with the individual that we don't sit there and see the actual thing of it. We believe in that individual. We want the individual to win so bad. We don't see the process. That he's not going to come in and just be a national championship. Hell, he won a national championship on the HBCU level.
Yeah, so
but they don't
again,
see it.
I'm trying to figure out like what are you saying that's bad? Like I don't like.
That's my point exactly. That's what I'm sitting there saying. But when I say it, everybody's thinking I'm hating on Deion, and it's not hating on Deion. I'm just being a realist about the situation, about what's happening in the process.
Okay, yeah, I don't think he
So
said anything crazy. Like now, granted, um, when he first left Jackson State, a lot of people were upset about it because of the way it happened. They felt that he put that program on his shoulders only to dump it off premature and go chase the money out in Colorado. When they signed his contract, they didn't even have the money to pay him the money. You know what I'm saying? So that's another reason why people are like, oh, you was just doing all this to get that bag. And that could really be the case. He could have went in there and did everything he did at Jackson State for his own nominal gain or his own personal reason. And going to Colorado is the results of that. Okay, you can have that perspective.
yeah.
Or you could look at it how he put a spotlight on HBCUs and celebrity coaching to where now you have several HBCUs who pursued NFL coaches, right? Or NFL players to become coaches or celebrity coaches to try to help install that culture. So I think he's doing a lot of good, and there is some bad, of course. And as you've seen, Jackson State is pretty much in shambles football wise. I think they were losing 28-0 when I was watching them. They were losing against FAMU in the first half. It's like 28-0, and I was just like, ooh, that's bad because again, their culture's gone. Their leader's gone. The people who the quarterback is gone. The linebackers are gone. So I struggle with. I don't like the way Deion did it, but I understand it. I get it. I understand what he's doing. He's doing the same thing coaches have done.
Yeah. Two things to be true.
Yeah.
I think what he did, he left Jackson State better than what he found it. I believe he came in, he's a salesman. He came in and sold something, got what he wanted out of the ordeal, took a look at everything overall, and was like, yo, this is for me. This ain't for me. I sold you on this was the idea that this was a long-standing thing, that I was for the culture, which now he says at Colorado, we don't teach culture around here. That's not what we're doing. We don't care about the culture around the culture around here. So
okay, hold on, wait. So I'm not gonna defend him. I'm gonna just say, you there?
I'm here.
I'm gonna just say that I understand because like it's like the woke thing. People are thinking that when like he's gonna come in here and bring like hip hop culture to Colorado. That's not what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? He's talking like they're looking at it in a caricature way. The big glasses, gold chains, turnover chain. You know what I'm saying? The players partying on the sidelines like Miami U back in the 90s. You feel me? That's what people are trying to say he's trying to do to Colorado. So that's why he's pushing away from the woke word, the culture word, because he sees that those are in a sense dog whistles for people to say, oh, that's what them niggas do. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what. So, and I hate again. He just should have never said anything about culture. But I know he's trying to change the narrative because he sees what they're trying to say. Because the first player in Colorado that gets arrested, that gets in a rape charge, whatever illegal infraction that happens, they are going to scream, look at the culture that he brought there. And he's trying to diffuse that because he knows if something happens, that's the first thing they're going to point to. So I get what he's saying, but the way he said it, man, people are not going to know what you're trying to do, man. You just got to fucking say it. Don't be like, oh, no, we're not against culture. We against culture around here. Culture is just no, don't talk about it. Just fucking do it.
Just do it. Yeah. That's part that Deion's done great things. His biggest problem is maybe sometimes when you're too aware and you're trying to say one thing and then it goes over a lot of people's head, or you make it more complicated than it had to be. Or sometimes you're trying to do two things at the same time. You're trying to market and turn around and keep and be this.
Oh.
And sometimes you can't do both.
Exactly. and he's not
Yeah.
the best
And
at
so,
both. He's trying, but
yeah,
he's trying, and
yeah. Because as much as I love Prime, I've watched him constantly. Renege is not the word. I've watched
yeah,
him constantly contradict himself
yeah,
in many ways, and so that part of you can't when you're an athlete, your athletic ability allows you to kind of cover that up. When
yeah.
you're a coach or you're speaking or you're saying something and you want to call
Ah,
yourself, or I'm a leader, or I'm going to change something, or I'm going to be this, and our showers is just as good as theirs, and we got this,
our ice is
and
just
we're
as
going to make
cold.
or it's just as cold, and all these different things, and then you turn. But in reality, the only reason you're at Jackson State is because no other school was going to hire you without you having actual college head coaching experience. So you only picked that HBCU school because the HBCU school was so desperate they were willing to take a chance. And so when
Yeah,
they did it, to make people buy in, I need to make them feel that this is bigger than what Deion doing for Deion. This is bigger than I'm not doing this for me.
yeah,
I'm doing this for y'all.
yeah. It's deep, man. But Ed Reed,
And
remember? Oh, go ahead.
it's deep. Yeah, no, you're right. Ed Reed was the same thing. He wanted to be Deion. And I told people, and me and Miguel had the same thing. Here's the failure that's gonna get set up. Everybody's not gonna be able to do what Deion did. So he didn't set a new standard or way of doing things because not everybody is him and had that connections and was a celebrity and had those other endorsement type connections to do the deal with Walmart, to do the deal with the airline, to have all these connections, to have an Under Armour, to have Under Armour come in. Listen, bro, I told Miguel, Deion got humbled when he got to Colorado because he had to take a step back because he thought he was going to go there and even force Colorado to switch from Under Armour to Nike. He tried it. He hated. He hated Nike before they had to re-engage with each other and everything else. He hated it so much, and he just knew he had that sway and ability. Nah, bro, you step into it, you get to that level. These corporations will quickly put you in your place, or what they like to think is your place. And they had them, and now guess what he's back to wearing? Nikes.
I mean, those are straight cash, homie. You right?
Yeah, straight cash. So and it's not a knock on him. I love to see the brother chase for what he's thing. But I've watched the games he plays. He's the same dude that his whole life he's been Florida State to Florida State wouldn't give him a chance to be the head coach. Wouldn't even give him an interview. Right now, all of a sudden he's like somebody's interviewing him. I'm not a no. You whatever case where you graduated from, and it's like, bro. Majority of the cats that's in the NFL don't graduate, but they're from that university, whatever case, and they're the alumni of that, or whatever. But all of a sudden, because your happy ass is mad that they wouldn't give you a shot when you didn't have you just wanted to walk in there off your name and be given the keys to a multi-million-dollar. That's not how it works.
It's like, nope.
Deion's not going to turn around and give nobody that shot. You say what?
No, I said nope.
No. So now he's not a no. Now he's not a no. All right, bro. The only reason we know you is because when you was a no. We don't know the man who became mature or whatever case, no. The man who couldn't get a job anywhere because he didn't have a degree and an HBCU chose to turn around and help him, or experience in HBCU, some small school in Florida, Talladega School. It's a small HBCU in Florida. They helped him out with getting his degree, helped him out with the scheduling and everything else, so he could go turn around and get his degree, so he could become a head coach and whatnot. And so now he wants to turn around like this. Yeah, I'm not a no. I'm an HBCU. I'm a Talladega such and such, such and such. Like, bro, you ain't played for that school, whatever case. Yeah, you got that degree or whatever case, bro. But nah, that's like you went to Auburn. Like somebody going to Auburn, whatever case, but they get their master's at Cleveland State in medical. They're not running around talking about I'm a Cleveland State, whatever the case.
Viking.
No,
not a Viking.
They're a Viking. No, like, bro, I'm an Auburn Tiger. Like, I made it to the league as an Auburn Tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my life.
Black V, you must have been on the road thinking this shit because you on fire today, bro. You on fire.
Bro, I can't prepare because listen, Miguel been messaging me. He want to jump in here so bad, and I ain't letting him today. I ain't arguing with him today. He want me. He want to talk about it. He got to invite me on Deep Throat Conversation.
I was about to say Deep Throat Conversation. That's but no, you on point. The last thing I'll say about it is going to an HBCU. Well, now of course different than when I went, but when I went, I was always upset about the lack of funding, the lack of availability, and then your degree on paper doesn't hold much weight for places who never heard of you. You know what I'm saying? So if I get a degree from Norfolk State and I move to Ohio and I'm in Cleveland about to get this job, and they Norfolk State, well, what's that? It's a college, HBCU accredited, and you got all the credentials, but there is no power behind the name, and sometimes it needs to be power behind those names to get things to project and propel and excel. So Deion going to Jackson State, he understood that, and he did the damn thing. Now, granted, he did some other stuff that I don't want to say didn't like, that I don't agree with, rather. But I understood what he was trying to do because, I used to travel to all these different HBCUs across the country. Like, I've been to more HBCUs than the average person probably even knows exist. So I've seen firsthand the struggles and the issues that they have, and also the other stuff, the good stuff. But when Coach Prime came out and talked about how he needed to get funding for those players at Jackson State, his plea was on ESPN, Jamar. He was at a press conference on E-fucking-S-fucking-P-fucking-N. Do you know how large of a platform that is?
Yeah.
For him to go, but his goal wasn't for ESPN to pick that up. He was just speaking from the heart about what he needed. But because he's Deion Sanders and he's complaining, they aired it, because not to help him out, but say, oh, look what he's going through over there. He thought it was going to be all this and all that. Look at it. But what it did was it made them alumni, most of those corporations in Mississippi think, oh, we could get in on this. We need to help. And money starts pouring in because again, you have to have power behind your name. And if Deion Sanders has no name, he's not on ESPN complaining. If Deion, again, he leveraged his celebrity.
That's
what I'm trying to say. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. He leveraged his celebrity. And then don't forget this. Now, because of him, they interview HBCU head coaches on the sidelines during the games now, because he was doing that shit on ESPN. So now that's the thing it's deep. We could hit the next topic, but I thought, that
was basically it for the main topic. It was going to be whatever case. So closing it out with that, to add on to what you said, I'm not mad at him for leveraging celebrity. I just didn't want people to think that was the blueprint, because everybody. But Ed Reed wasn't the celebrity, so he thought he could come in there.
I was just about to say, he thought he did think he was a celebrity.
He was a celebrity, but he's not.
Jamar, let me tie this point in. He tried to do the exact same thing that Prime did. He tried it. He went on IG Live, did his rant, and got fired because his goal, again, he didn't understand. Oh, well, hold up, Jermaine. Triple salute, sir. That's my guy. I didn't even see him pop up. Yeah, what up, bro?
Solo, bro.
So he was trying to do what Deion Sanders did, but ended up going a step too far because, again, that plea that he was supposed to give out was supposed to go on the ESPN and be out there, and the funds start rolling in just like they did in Jackson's. But his school was like, no, you ain't about to out us like that. Cut it. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy how it all ties in. But like you said, that's not the blueprint.
He found out early, but Deion found out later about. That's not the blueprint. That's not what they're going to let you do. He found out. Don't get me wrong. You there?
Yeah.
I don't know if your screen froze up or it's my phone.
Your screen keeps freezing.
He found out what Deion Sanders found out later too, is that Just because you're making all the money doesn't mean that they're gonna let you control all the money and how it's spent.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, yours is the same thing. I don't know if it's mine's or whatever.
No, I haven't been free. Like
You know what? Hold on.
Okay.
Let me see something.
All right. Well, while you doing that, I'm gonna just talk. What's the next topic? Let me see. Love talking about Deion Sanders, but man, them winning that game was freaking phenomenal. Okay. So college football. Oh, there you go. I was about to jump into college football being back. I thought, okay.
So yeah, so him and Ed Reed both had to find out the hard way. Deion found out, and there was a big lesson for him, and him learning that was like, yo, like you can't turn around. And I don't think he understood. There's parts I don't think he truly understood. Just because Ohio State makes the most money at Ohio State does not mean that they get the football coach gets to dictate where that money goes and how that money is spent everywhere. He gets a large say so, but he doesn't get. Deion wanted to keep majority of that money that the football team was generating, and Ed Reed wanted to do the same thing. They wanted to take that money and kind of determine how it was spent and what it was spent on. And the university is like, bro, I can't keep going and taking the money and keep going buying all this new locker room, building this and building that, when we got buildings that are over here failing. Like the university's job, like this money goes to more. Thank you, football team, but this money goes to more than just football. Ohio State is responsible for damn near all the other athletic programs. At Ohio State University.
Yeah.
Like you don't get to have that say so. Like you don't. So I know it's a learning process and he's new to it and he's learning. And it's never really, my argument never really be, because I be seeing what Deion doing or trying to do, and I get what he's trying to do, and I catch his missteps, or I catch him flat out playing the game, but me being able to see the maneuver he's trying to do and call it out. And then, you know, folks, when they root for somebody, they don't like you to call out when somebody's doing some foul shit. You know how it is. Like you got a judge in the neighborhood. He's like, bro, he ain't slick. Oh man, you just hating because he making it. I'm like, nah, bro.
Or just, Obama and Yemen.
Yeah. But now you a hater. I'm like, nah, bro. I can love a dude and be like, yo, bro, you fucked up too at the same time.
Yeah, because I'm telling you the truth, man. If I ever meet Obama, don't know. It's not, I don't need to, give him a hug or a handshake or anything, but I just got to ask about Yemen. Like, I just need to know, like, we need to talk about it because you killed a lot of people, bro, and you ain't said a word. So what's that about? Just talk to me. This is what happened.
I don't know. I wish I could understand. I wish I could have that conversation with him to understand, but I don't think he'd ever be able to give us the answer. I don't think we'd ever agree with the answer anyways. And I'm sure there's more behind it. And I'm sure when you get not to agree with it, and it may be something stupid that I could probably never get behind. But I do know when you get to a certain level, just like even within your household or whatever the case, but when you're responsible for so many things, and sometimes maybe with the president, you get stuck with some other shit, having to make tough choices with some other shit that you might not have even started. But now you're held responsible for it. And now you have these people who are coming forward in front of you and they give you these options. And they say, these are the truth. This is what we got going on.
Pick one.
Pick one. And you're like, well, fuck, there is no winning here. You know, like I'm sure. And so that's why, like, certain stuff, like, I get it. Like, I can't be mad at Trump, but at the same time, or Obama for certain stuff at the same time, one of my biggest issues with Trump was one of the biggest things his own cabinet would say is that he never liked to read the intel reports or anything like that. He just wanted to go off of his feelings of what he felt was the best thing rather than getting the information. Yeah. And going over the information and making an educated decision. That was dangerous. Yeah. And that's what they worried about. So he was appealing, he was this, and there's some things he was right on. But there's a whole bunch of other dangerous situations and stupid, non-mature shit he was doing.
Yeah. Like,
so that was my
realize him pulling out of that Iranian deal was not a good idea.
No, but he wanted to look good. He wanted to. He did it not because of the fact that it was a bad deal. He did it because of the fact he wanted to look good, to make it seem like me pulling out of this, I'm stopping us from bro. We're America. Even when it looks like we getting cheated in the deal, we're not getting cheated in the
We're
deal, bro.
not getting cheated in any deal.
No, we're not getting cheated in any deal, bro. We gonna sit there and make it. We pay more in NATO. You want to know why? Because when we say move, NATO fucking and everybody in it has to move how we say, because we the breadwinners.
Yeah.
That's why you pay more. That's why you got all these bases overseas and you got all this money and everything else. Because we want to sit there and walk around with the biggest dick and controlling everybody. China took our playbook and they took it a step further and they're maximizing it, executing it. Bro, even all these African nations that's coming back and building up stronger. China's sitting there like, yo, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, and that's true. That's true, and America knows that more so than looking at Russia. But that's another story. I just we don't have to go there. I was just, what up, bud? How you feeling, bro?
Love you, bro.
So I don't know, but I feel you though. Yeah, it's just again, once you get in those positions, you're gonna do some good, you're gonna do some bad. But as a head coach, Jamar, man, I was proud to see how the players reacted to Deion. I love seeing his son react to him in a positive way. I love the father-son dynamic in any situation because you need a son with a positive father figure in the picture. Black young man, rather, because that's not always the case. So I look at Deion on so many different levels, and he knows that the road is looking that way. But I'm trying to tell you, Colorado is they're on thin ice, and people don't understand that. Program wise, because they fucking suck, and they've been sucking for 20 years. Money wise, because they don't have the funding, and also you're depending on this football program. Like you said, if this football program is successful, it's going to bring back ice hockey. It's going to help them out with soccer. It's going to help them out with so many other programs that school has. That it's going to lift all that stuff up, right? Mm-hmm. But what if he fails?
You failed, and he's going to turn around, and the first thing he's going to do, he's like, yo, they wouldn't give me the funding.
But he can say it, though. He can say it.
And he can say it. And it can be true. It can be true because they signed a deal with I don't want to call Deion the devil, but they signed a deal with the man full well knowing, or hopefully they were knowing, what they was getting themselves into.
But again, when they signed the deal, the money wasn't in the bank. Like right. He signed a contract for money that they didn't have yet.
Yeah.
That's thin ice shit, man. Like you do that's the stuff that worries me, man, because I'm trying to tell you, the first arrest, the first slip up, the first rape, the first whatever that's gonna, I'm telling you, man, it's a house of cards, and I see it, and I think he sees it too, which again is why we had that whole culture conversation. But it's just, I think he knows that this thing is a thin ice program. If he keeps winning games and stay out the fucking news for anything bad for players, he's gonna be all right.
Yeah, so he knows it. So he's got to protect himself. So he has to be even harder and cut out kids immediately who he feels could be the troublemakers. So that's going to rub people, a lot of other coaches, the wrong way, because to them, not all of them, but some of them actually do go in there and they do care about these kids and want better for these kids. And so they take that on and like, yo, you don't kick your kids out the house the minute they mess up. You know, you discipline them, you whatever case, you work on them. You don't run them off. Yeah. And so college football has taken on this business first mentality.
It's always been business first, though, Jamar.
I know, but before the kids were allowed to get played, you had to at least pretend or make it look good.
Oh yeah, you
don't have to pretend to put on the show. Now you can just be like, bye.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's about to happen?
What's that?
I don't know if this is real, but it just popped in my head. They're gonna probably start signing kids to contracts to keep them at those schools because
they'll figure out something.
That's what I'm saying. They are now getting paid in NIL deals. So I think they'll probably start to tie the NILs to a contract for the length of time those kids play at the school. I can see that coming because that guarantees them that you're not going to jump in the transfer portal every time you get pissed off or a coach benches you or if you're not starting at certain way. I think that's coming next. Oh, Bucky, I think it was Bucky Brooks. He's a broadcaster, and I wanted your opinion on this. Because you play in. I got an idea with. I'm gonna try to get you and Reese Claret on the same page because I need y'all to talk about this because both of y'all being running backs. He wants to break down film about running backs, whatever. That's great. I think you can do the same thing. Y'all need to talk about it. That's another story. A dream mind. But okay, let me get to my point. Bucky Brooks mentioned that the NFL should go back and adjust its eligibility rules for the running back position because a running back, the wear and tear on your body, it takes that away from you as far as when you get into the NFL. So he's saying the running back criteria should be at least a year, to not so 3 years or whatever.
You're not putting that more damage on your body spending 3 years in college. But bro, at this point, they need to just change it, period. Like, let you graduate and let you come into the game at this point. Like, if you're 18 and you let you go, bro, because I want players to get what's old to them.
But do you feel it's too early?
Yeah, but I don't want the game. I don't want to lose the game in the process. The sport I love in the process because now you're taking the passion, the love, the commitment, the dedication, or the work ethic, making it more business first. Now it's definitely business first for the players, and so when they get upset, all they're thinking about now is a payday when they show up at college now. So now they're like, yo, like, I'm not going to start. I'm out of here. They're not, instead of let me work harder because I ain't got many options. I need to get better. It's like, no, I'm just going to go somewhere else
where I can start.
Yeah.
So, but do you think if a person does 1 year, like, we're not talking about Reese, we're not talking about like special time. We're talking about like just people coming up. But it makes sense, Jamar. If you're looking at NFL contracts, who your biggest contract is going to be your first contract for a running back, if that's the case, you want to get as less wear and tear on your body as possible because that's the only big deal you're gonna get. Right. Now, if you relax the rules for a person in a running back position, right? Let's say the 1 year thing or whatever that is, right? Maybe possibly in a couple of years, you could revisit that second contract and add some more money to that because now all of a sudden, instead of a guy having 4 or 5 years of wear and tear on his body, he only has maybe 2. So therefore, he can give you 2 extra years on the back end because normally when a running back's 28, 29, this is already a wrap. So maybe that'll get pushed to 30, 31. You know what I'm saying? So I see the benefits of allowing a younger player. Oh, he said the game is too fast and too strong for a kid straight out of high school. I'm not mad at that. I feel that also. The thing that I'm trying to say is that the year of eligibility, okay, give him that. Draft him, give him that. Give him in the league, give him that big contract. But I think after that big contract, these running backs are still going to show that they got a lot more because again, they don't have those 3 or 4 years of wear and tear in college. And I don't know, it's just a thought. When Bucky Brooks said it, it just made so much sense to me. And I was like, yeah, I can see that happening. But I mean, no, I can see that making sense, but I don't think it'll happen. But I just thought, but if you think if a running back gets out early, wouldn't he have more length of a time in the NFL to be productive?
You would hope and feel that way because it's less wear and tear on the body.
Right.
It's one of those damn if you do, damn if you don't, because you're never going to be able to pull it off for just one position. It's either all or nothing. Maybe if you got a kid who really feels that he wants to go that bad, you allow high schooler to be put in a supplemental draft, but he can't play that year. He has to sit out, and he can work out. But he's stuck to that organization. Like, they have his rights, right? Because whatever they draft him, they lose that pick or whatever case next year, whatever they draft that high school kid. But he gets to go to the NFL team. He gets to be on their program, work with their trainers, even practicing or whatever case. But he can't play that year. He can get paid. He can work out with them. He can travel, be a part of the team, learn the playbook, everything else. But he can't play. He has to sit out that 1 year, and then he's eligible the next season.
Yeah, so there's no wear and tear on his body.
Right.
Hopefully, no injuries.
And he's getting a chance to build
it
himself
makes
up.
sense.
Yeah.
I like it. It just, again, I just wanted to pose that thought to you, man, because all the stuff that's been going on with the backs, man, it has really made me sick. And to a degree, I'm already struggling with watching the NFL. You know that. But just all this other stuff, man, it just pisses me off because it shouldn't be that way. And the truth be told, when Ezekiel signed that contract, in 2018 with Dallas, and I was I'm thinking like, man, this ain't good. He signed 90, 100 something million, or a 5-year deal, and his production was already on the decline. But we thought that was because of injuries, and he just never progressed back. And ever since that contract, I've noticed these contracts have gotten smaller and smaller for people who trying to re-up or redo their deal. So I blame Ezekiel Elliott. It's his fault. I blame him. Hold on, wait. I blame him. I blame DeMarco Murray. Or is it, the running back that went from Dallas to the Eagles?
DeMarco Murray.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I blame him because he did that second contract and didn't do shit in Philadelphia but fucking eat wings and get paid. It's another running back too. Sean Alexander, and I don't want to say it, but I said his name. His contract with Seattle was ridiculously over the top. Now, granted, he was productive, but his production was in algebra. In algebra they call it increasing on a decreasing scale. Okay, so his production was still going up, but it was going up like this instead of a trajectory. It was going more like, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
Stuff like that.
That's why you got to, I guess, to go with that, to get your money. I believe you have to do it on a bonus system and make running backs contracts more bonus,
like the incentives.
Yeah, the incentives, so it doesn't count against the cap, but you can still pay them for those things, and they can when they reach milestones. So when they are putting that wear and tear in their body, they're earning it right there.
That makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, most people got mid-season deals, incentives. You reach 6 touchdowns by 4 games. Here's an extra 2.5. You get 800 yards by week 12. That's an incentive for, $3.5 million. I don't know, something stuff like that makes, even though they kind of have those in contracts already, but I think that should be the bulk of what the contract is, because again, it's based on your production. And it's just, again, I just thought it was, man, like, I just hate to see the way it's going, Jamar, man. It just.
Well, bro, I gotta get ready.
Oh yeah.
I gotta go. I still gotta go cook. Family making me grill.
But you be grilling though, bro. You be, man. I make you do that shit too.
I gotta get you back up for dinner. Get you up on the weekend, bro. Maybe come on a Friday, stay the night. We kick it in.
Well, I don't know about the dogs, man. Me and dogs don't do well overnight. It's just
I keep them away from you.
I appreciate that, because I'm a magnet for dogs attacking me for some shit. Not like that, but you know what I'm saying. They just
away from you.
Yeah. Okay, then we can do that.
You got any announcements? Anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, definitely shout out. The Madam and the Major is we're trying to get in the works. We're trying to get up to New York to get them interviews. You've seen the text messages. You know how it's going. So it looks like we're not going to do that until a couple months from now. I was kind of hoping next month, but unfortunately that may not be the case. But it's still moving forward. Walls of Jade is still moving forward. Shouts out to Atlanta Bradley and everything that she's doing. Major salute to you. And also with us in the podcast funding, we reached out for some grants. Hopefully to see something come back soon. Some melodies from heaven pouring down upon us.
Right down on me.
Facts. So hopefully, man, with those blessings on the horizon, man, we'll have a good year. 2024 more so than now. I think next year be big for us. But yeah, God bless and everything. How about yourself, man? What you got going on?
I just want to go ahead and shout out say it again, Sid Nori Pays. I want to give them a shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bud. Shout out to Bud Haddix. He's been faithfully watching us these podcasts, man.
Thank you, Bud.
Comments out there, adding info and insight. So I'm gonna give a shout out to him. Shout out to Miguel. Bro, we gonna wrap. I know we gonna call my phone when this is over with. I ain't gonna answer though. I don't want to hear it. I ain't talking to him to the 15th when I got to.
I don't even blame you, because you don't want to hear that shit.
I don't want to hear it. He ain't pulling me in. As always, shout out to CL, shout out to Alora,
Yeah.
shout out to Annie, shout out to Miguel. Brother's looking good and out there doing a lot of his skits and everything.
He's back in the mix.
He's back in the mix, but
Okay,
he's
praise
still
God.
in the mix. So
Good to hear.
shout out to that brother. I appreciate him a lot.
Yeah. Good to hear.
Safe travels to my brother Brandon Harris. He's traveling back to Jacksonville today. Just boarded a plane as we was mid potting. So shouts out to him. Hopefully make it safe. And just shout out to you, bro. Appreciate you. Love you.
I love you back, man.
Shout out to the Cuddy Ish. Shout out to Reggie.
Yeah.
And I just want to say God bless all y'all. Thank you.
All right. All right. Love you back, bro. Take care. Go.